Today we are going after accounts in OWASP Juice Shop: admin, vendor, Stan, Jim and MagSafe search. At first it looks like we need passwords, but we don't, and that's the scary part. Because in this episode we are going to see how one weak login query, one trusted JSON field and one badly checked registration form can completely change who we are inside an application. So let's get to it. The main idea for today is simple. The browser is controlled by the user. That means anything sent from the browser can be changed. For example, a username, a password, and even fields that are not visible on the page. And if the server does not check those values properly, the application can make very bad decisions. Now, let's begin with the login page. I opened Juice Shop, went to the account icon and clicked Login. Now for the email, I used this payload, and for the password, I used something random. Then I captured the login request with Burp Suite and sent it to repeater. Then I sent the request and the response came back with status 200. And that's what we wanted. But the important part is not only the 200. The important part is that the response included the admin user information and the admin token. That means the server accepted the login and created an admin session. Now let's understand why this worked. So, in this payload, the first quote closes the email value inside the SQL query. Then we have this second part of the payload, and this adds a condition that is always true because 1 equals 1 is always true. So, if the application builds the SQL query in an unsafe way, the database may return a user even though we did not provide the correct email and password combination, and that's exactly what happened. Then we have the double dash, and that starts a command in SQL. So that means the rest of the query is ignored, and that rest of the query probably includes the password check. So instead of the database asking, "Is there a user with this email and this password?" we changed the logic to something closer to "Give me a user because this condition is true." And because the condition is always true, the login succeeds. In this case, Juice Shop returned the admin account. And this is our first account takeover. Now the question is, can we only do this with admin or can we do this with other users too? In the first episode of this series, I gathered some email addresses from the application. So now we can use some of those emails and see if the same weakness works against specific accounts. So I started with vendor. This time I did not use only the SQL injection payload. I started with vendor's email. Then I added the SQL comment payload at the end. For the password, I entered something random. Then I captured the request with Burp, sent it to repeater and sent the request. And again, the response came back with status 200. But this time, the identity in the response was vendor. Now let me explain why this version works. With the admin payload, we used this, and that makes the condition true for basically any user. But with vendor, we are doing something more targeted. We are giving the application a real email first, and then the quote closes the email value inside the query, and the double dash comments out the rest. So the application starts by finding vendor's email, but then the password check gets ignored. That means we do not need vendor's password. We only need the query to find vendor, and then we cut off the part that checks if the password is correct. That's why the login worked. But after vendor, I wanted to test if this was a one-time trick or a pattern. So I tested Stan. The idea was the same. Went back to the login page, inserted Stan's email with the payload at the end, used the random password, captured the request, sent it to repeater and sent the modified request. And once again, we got a successful login. This is where the problem becomes bigger, because when a vulnerability works once, we should not assume it only affects one account. If the bug is in the login logic, then every account using that login logic may be affected. So this is not just I logged in as admin or I logged in as vendor. The real issue is the application is letting user input control the login query. That means the authentication system itself is broken. So after Stan, I tested Jim. By now, the steps were already familiar. Log out, go to the login page, use Jim's email with the payload at the end, use a random password, capture the request with burp, send it to repeater, send the request, and again, the server returned a successful response. Now, I don't want to repeat the same explanation every time because the vulnerability is the same, but the result matters. We are proving that this is not tied to one special account. It is tied to the way Juice Shop checks credentials. That's what makes it serious, because a single vulnerable login query can become many account takeovers. Now, next, I tested MagSafe search. Again, I logged out, went back to the login page, used the known email with the SQL command payload at the end, used the random password, sent the request through burp repeater, and again the response was positive. At this point, we have seen two types of SQL injection in the login form. The first payload says any valid user is enough, and the second payload says I want this specific user and I want the password check ignored. That's why collecting email addresses earlier in the series was useful, because information that looks small in one episode can become powerful later. Now, after taking over accounts through the login form, I moved to registration. On the login page, there's an option to register a new account. So I clicked that and created a normal account first. But I did not only care about the page, I wanted to see the actual request, because the page only shows us what the developer wants us to see. The request shows us what the browser actually sends to the server. So I filled out the registration form, captured the request with burp, and sent it to repeater. Inside the JSON body, I saw these fields, and these are normal registration fields. So I added this property to the JSON body. Then I sent the request and the server responded with status 201, and this means created. So the account was created, but the important part was that the response also showed the role as admin. After that, I went back to the source code, and this is something I always like to check, because sometimes developers leave credentials in places where they should not be. Comments, JavaScript files, configuration files, test files, old code, and after looking around, I found this. So the next thing to do was obvious. I went to the login page and tried those credentials. So I inserted the email, then the password, and I was able to log in as the testing user, guys. At this point, we already had admin access using SQL injection, but I wanted to answer another question. Can we find the admin's real password? Because if we know the real password, we can log in normally. No SQL injection, no payload, just the admin credentials. So I searched for common admin passwords. Then I found these and I copied them, saved them into a file and used Hydra to test them against the login endpoint. And this was the command. Now let me explain some parts of this command. So Hydra is the tool used to test login forms with username and password combinations. Then we have HTTP post form, and this tells Hydra what kind of login request we are attacking. The Juice Shop login uses an HTTP post request, so we use this module. Then comes the most complex part, which is this one here. Now, this tells Hydra how to build the login request. So the first part is the endpoint. That's where the login request is sent. Then we have the JSON body. Hydra replaces this with the username that we give, and it replaces this with each password from the password list. So every request uses the same email but a different password from this list. Then we add the headers. Now this header tells the server that we are sending JSON. That matters because Juice Shop expects the login body to be JSON. Then we have this one here, and this tells the server that we want a JSON response back. And then we have the failure condition, which is this one. And this tells Hydra how to recognize a failed login. So Hydra keeps trying passwords. If the response contains invalid email or passwords, Hydra knows the password was wrong. When that message disappears, Hydra treats it as a possible valid login. Eventually, Hydra found the admin password. Then I went back to the website, entered the email address and the password Hydra found, and I was logged in as admin. This is a password strength problem. The login form was already vulnerable to SQL injection, but the admin password was also weak enough to be guessed from a common list. After that, I went back to the registration request. Earlier, we added a role and created an admin account, so now I wanted to test how strict the registration validation was. So the first thing I tested was the repeated password field. Normally, registration forms ask you to type your password twice, and that helps prevent mistakes. But the important question is, does the server actually require it? So I removed the value from password repeat and sent the request, and the challenge was solved. Then I tested one more thing. If the server accepts an empty password repeat, what happens if I empty the main registration fields too? So I changed the request to this. Then I sent it, and this time the server responded with 400, which is a bad request. At first this looks confusing because the challenge was solved, but the server returned 400. So why did it count? In this case, the server rejected the registration, so the empty account was not created. But Juice Shop challenges do not always require the request to succeed. Sometimes the challenge is solved when the application detects that you triggered a specific condition. In this case, the condition was an empty registration attempt. And this is it, guys. I hope this helped you in any way, and if it did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to this channel for more content like this. See you next time, stay curious and stay safe. Bye bye!